Let's see, I got my greenery ready. Hey, good morning, everybody. It is another Thursday, another wonderful Thursday morning, and we are so excited to be back here with you for another edition of Power Hour. So if you are just joining us, good morning, welcome to the show, and let us know where you're tuning in from, whether it's LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook, or what part of the country you're from. We always love to see where in the world people are catching Power Hour live, or if you're watching this on a replay, hashtag replay in the comments. We would love to see that too. So today is another special episode because we have somebody who we are so excited has agreed to do a return show with us, because when we started Power Hour, it was over on Clubhouse, and now we've transitioned it to LinkedIn Live full time. And so we have Michelle Griffith, the branding expert, with us one more time to talk us all the way through how to do professional and personal branding really, really well. So I'm super excited for the show this morning. Good morning, Steve. It's so great to see you. Let us know how who else is here this morning. And if we haven't met yet, I'm Claire Davis. I run Traction Resume, where I help sales leaders get great jobs and make more money through resumes and interview prep. So let's go around and introduce ourselves really quick. And then Michelle, we would love to jump in with you today. So Dan, do you mind kicking it off?
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. If you don't know me, my name is Dan Mott. I help you build your business on LinkedIn through coaching courses and other resources. I'm going to try not to move today. So Michelle, you have to do me a favor and don't drop any like super knowledge bombs that are going to make me like tilt out of my seat, because I pulled my back this morning. So I have to stand very, very still. I'm nervous for it. Matt, what's going on?
Hey, Dan, thank you so much. Matt Zaun, I show leaders how to persuade with power through the art of strategic storytelling, and I do it through workshops and one-on-one coaching. I'm very excited to hear from Michelle today. And one of the reasons is because the last time you spoke, Michelle, I will tell you, you're one of the best trainings that I had heard in a long, long time. I think I took about 5 pages of notes and I immediately applied what you said. So I'm very excited to have another conversation. So thank you so much for being here. And I will pass it over to, boom, there we go, Erin.
You got it.
Erin, get it.
So I left it up on the bottom because I'm like, well, I do have to do this though. Good morning, everybody. Erin Geiger. I run Muscle Creative. So I help small businesses and solopreneurs connect with their customers through conversational copy. So I do that through one-on-one write with you sessions. I kind of like get you out of that writer's block, and we really work on your stuff, membership and digital courses. So I'm super excited that Michelle is here again, because we all need help on our personal brand. Because you know what, even as writers like myself, it's hard to talk about yourself. You know, it's like you can write for other people all day and you know, kind of sing their praises and really get into it. And when it comes to yourself, you're like, I don't know. I think I'm fine. You know, like when Claire worked on my resume, I was joking with her. I'm like, I don't know whose resume this is, but they sound amazing. You know, so I'm excited to learn more from Michelle.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Erin, everyone, Erin's throwing you off the scent here. You all know she's awesome. So we're super excited to have you back, Michelle. I mean, I know for myself, the way that you step by step walked us through your branding process the last time we were on Clubhouse really was a game changer for me. So can you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to? And I feel like I saw that your business is changing slightly and you're maybe shifting toward another direction. So what's going on with your business, and tell us a little bit more about why you got started in this business of branding in the first place.
Absolutely. Well, I am super excited to be here on the second time on video. And I think since I first joined, I think it was early March, a long time ago, Dan and Erin have joined the crew. So
yeah,
all of you, such a power hour with power, you know, power people. So
well, that's how we get around. We doubled the mods so that way we could split the time in half.
Yeah.
Strategy.
Efficiency.
It does help take the burden. But anyway, it's so good to be out here. I mean, in LinkedIn internet world, March was like forever, like 3 years ago, right? But anyway, I'm here and I'm here to share because it is still even more important, and even as we look to 2022, to build our brands and build our businesses. And that's pretty much what my version of personal branding is: to get out there, to stand out with visibility, to become the trusted authority, to win, the respect and credibility of people and relatability too, so that we become the go-to person in our niche. And I do that with one-on-one coaching and LinkedIn consulting. So what I've done since March, gosh, I think I launched The Business of You, my weekly, at the time in the summer, it was a weekly LinkedIn Live, and now it's monthly. I'm actually, shameless little plug here, if you don't mind. I am having it. My monthly one is today at 5 p.m. Eastern, and I have Michelle J. Raymond, who is the LinkedIn company page specialist. She's going to be all the way from Sydney telling us how your personal brand can be, a company brand can impact that. So enough of me. Let's talk about you. And let's talk about everyone watching here on live and on the replay and how we can build that personal brand and why we need to. Now, I have to give you all a shout out because it must be a requirement to be a Power Hour mod that you do like really good posts for the week. Because you guys all nailed it. You all, I was like, dang, this is so good. Is that a requirement? Because
we all steal from each other.
Okay. We do.
It's like, they're so smart and they like they get it. So anyway, you guys learn a lot too. Anyway, you all hit the nail on the head. You got to have a personal brand to stand out because visibility is not vanity. Okay. You may see the things, the quotes and the things. Visibility, the way I do it, it is not vanity. In fact, I'm going to come back after this is over, and I'm going to drop a 2017 article that LinkedIn trainer Mick Andrews, shout out to Mick, posted this week. And just to show, back from 2017, Sheryl Sandberg was talking about how people shouldn't package themselves. It was like more, it's fake and fakery. And nothing could be farther than the truth about the version of personal branding that I do. It is not being curated. It is the real you. In fact, my 7-step process that I'm about to walk you through is all about discovering who you are. Because like you said, Erin, who am I? It's so easy to help our clients, but when it comes to us, we can't see the frame of the picture we're in. I mean, trust me, it's so hard for me even. It's just so hard. We have the curse of knowledge. We have too many ideas. We just can't make sense of everything. And that's one of the reasons I became a personal brand strategist. I left my marketing career of 2 decades and it had been my dream for like 5 years to leave it, right? And have my own consultancy. And the problem is during those 5 years, instead of putting myself out there and just being who I am and sharing my knowledge and expertise, I thought I wasn't ready. So you know what I did? I invested, I can't tell you how many hours and how many thousands of dollars on credentials and courses thinking that was the answer. But you know what? It wasn't until I decided to start putting myself out there and just stepping out on who I am and what I know to help others, then my career really just blossomed. And it helped me transition from one niche to another and help me really stand. So that's why when I realized, of course, I was helping people, professional services in insurance and legal, helping them. But I see what the power of an unstoppable personal brand can do. So I knew I got to get out there and help these people. There's so many amazing people that their obscurity is the only thing holding them back from greatness and greater opportunity. So through that, in 2019, I gave this talk, Own Your Message, How to Stand Out, Self Apart. I started this framework and I've refined it a little bit over the years, but today I call it my Visible Authority Blueprint because the name of my consultancy is Brand Authority. On LinkedIn, you see some people say the word thought leader, personal brand gives people the heebie-jeebies, like they don't get it really. That's just misunderstanding of what it really is. So I call it being a brand authority, right? You're the authority. You need to show up with your insights to help others, right? To help solve a problem. That's what business is all about. So my Visible Authority Blueprint has 7 steps. Maybe I touched on it briefly, or maybe I did in March, but there's plenty of people obviously who didn't hear it. And I mean, who would remember that? I don't even remember what I said in March, but I'm glad I had 5 pages of notes. So,
oh my gosh, yes. I think I still have. In fact, if anybody's interested, if you want to like hashtag notes in the comments, I'd be happy to share those because I remember when you spoke, it took 2 things away from that I will never forget. One, it was that you had this step-by-step process, which really makes branding relatable because it tends to be a scary conversation if you're a business owner, and certainly if you're a job seeker, that's usually the last thing on your radar. You're just hoping to get an interview, right? But the second thing I took away from you was that was not to go it alone.
Yeah.
And really, that was a deep-seated motivator for me and us here on Power Hour to make it a bigger collaboration, to add Dan and to add Erin, and for Matt and I to grow it in this way. Because when you started your, hashtag 365 days of posting, your full year of posting, we took that to heart, and it created this really incredible community effect. So, I mean, Matt, do you remember that when we started, just talking about how this could be bigger, and how what once started as a small mastermind of entrepreneurs started growing into this bigger community? Matt, do you remember that? And sort of the I don't know, the wave of motivation we were feeling then?
Sure. No, I absolutely do. And I appreciate you mentioned that, Claire. And, one of the things that Michelle's talking about, I love what you had said, Michelle, about visibility is not vanity. So yesterday, I came back from an event in Erie. I was speaking out in Erie, Pennsylvania at a conference, and I met some amazing people, some incredible people, huge missions. Some of them have gigantic organizations, and we had fantastic conversations. Then I go to connect with them on LinkedIn and social media channels, and there is almost zero engagement. Now, one of the things that I will even challenge people that are listening, I venture to say, if you truly believe in your mission, whether you are running a business, whether you're running a nonprofit, if you truly believe in your mission, if you're not focused on personal branding, you're actually selfish, because you don't want all the different things that you have that can radically help people to be out in the world. So I think it's unbelievably important to take the steps that Michelle is going to share with us and implement them in your organization, because visibility is not vanity. In fact, even more so, if you're not actually focusing on personal branding, do you really want your services in the hands of others? So I think it's really important to have this gut check. And what Claire had said is actually implement it and see the results take place.
Absolutely. That's so great. Yeah, that's kind of like my thing in my about summary. I say visibility is not vanity. It opens doors and unlocks opportunities. Okay. Bottom line, and if you are not out there, how can the people you're meant to help, right? We're all meant to help, and you should be helping someone, know that you exist and that you can help. And perfectly, exactly what you just said, Matt, is why I do what I do. I cannot tell you how many amazing people that are out there. We just don't know who they are yet. And they either by, design or default, you have a brand. So, I am here to disrupt the idea that personal branding is a selfish, narcissistic thing. Yeah, there are people. Don't go follow the hashtag on Instagram. For the most part, it's just hashtag selfies. That is not personal branding. And maybe personal branding needs a rebrand. Maybe it's personal platform building. I don't know. But what I'm trying to do is help people be more visible and get rid of being obscure and hidden, because they're, hidden gems out there. So with that being said, let me walk you right now. This is a very overview process. But one of the things I found why I created this 7-step process and what I take my coaching clients through is because there were bits and pieces of branding, but it really needs to be tied to build your business. I focus on consultants, service professionals, coaches, all this, founders, all these people who are doing a service, but I never did find a cohesive piece. So mine really divides, it helps you discover, define, differentiate, that's a huge thing, and develop. And I have messaging in there, branding. We talk about marketing and PR visibility, copywriting, messaging, all the facets to get you out there. So with that being said, I know I've been keep teasing you. Let's get out there. Let me tell you what it is.
Don't
you ready? Drum roll. So this is a visible blueprint, and it is a 7-step thing. Number 1 is perspective. Now, when I work with my clients, I need to know your perspective, because we're developing your personal brand. When you're a service provider, your business is your brand, and your product is really you. People come to you, not a company. Like, we really like someone, you probably hire people because you liked them, like you develop that thing, but you also know that they're expert at what they do. So we need to know your perspectives internally and externally. I have something called the Brand Name You Assessment. It is probably 100 questions and a deep dive I take my clients through. I ask them everything. And so we need to know your beliefs, your values, your mindset. Some people have a mindset issue about it. You are valuable and your mission needs to be out there. So I can't really share all those questions because I would take forever and a day, but you need to know exactly who you are, what you stand for internally, externally, personally, and professionally. So that's perspective. It's like data dumping everything about you. I lay all the pieces out, and then then it helps us connect that 100-piece puzzle, if you will. So the next one is people.
So before you move on, Michelle, I just want to point out, I love that because I think a lot of people have the misconception that they need to create a brand for themselves. When in reality, like your brand is you. It's how you perceive yourself. It's how the people that you work with perceive yourself.
Absolutely.
So I love that you go through that extensive workshop of like asking the questions about themselves to pull out the brand that already exists within them. So
absolutely. In fact, I can tell you, I have first we have your personality perspective. I'll tell you the subtopics in that I do. I do a personality perspective. I do a personal perspective, a professional perspective, a customer perspective, and a digital perspective. I also do like a baseline measurement of your personal brand, blueprint audit type thing. So I think those are the 4 perspectives I have. So the next one is people. And you're probably going to say, Michelle, you don't help people. You help someone, not everyone. And this is where Claire or Matt or someone who just said so well, and this is kind of the basis of my post. Side note, today is day 300 of my consecutive daily posting, and it's all about community. Yes, and it's all about, here's your number 1 takeaway, people. You can't build a brand and a business without people, and you can go read it. Yeah. It's exactly what that is. So my version of people is twofold. You've got your persona, your ICP, or whatever you want to call it, and then your partners. Just like you guys are partners, you are building each other up. Together we are, the old cliche, together everyone achieves more. It's so true in business and branding.
It is.
Yes. I mean, you collectively, not only, these partners are going to help support you. They're going to help refer you. They're going to just send you. I mean, it's like cross-pollination and just then a snowball effect. So when the next step is we find out who are your people. We know exactly their pain points. I'm a big about psychographics, what are their needs, challenges, desires, Then we find another, on the other section, your partners in your industry or niche. Let's go identify all the key players in the micro niche level to the bigger, to the better, all the players. Every niche and industry has so many publications, associations, just people in that pond, if you will. So that's super huge to grow. So that's your people. Number 2, that's your people, because that's going to help you grow. Build a community is going to expedite you and in your brand. So number 3 is positioning. This is probably the funnest part for me. I absolutely love taking that 100-piece data and then finding it out. And usually when I'm dealing with the perspective section, I can already see the golden thread of where the positioning is taking place. So positioning, you need to be different. Specialized differentiation, that's going to show you as the credible expert you are. You will not be a commodity that way. You will find, I will help you find that angle that helps stand out. So people have a hook in their brain, what makes you different. You guys all nailed your intros, by the way. I mean, I love it. So you're doing really well in that, and I love that. So that's one of the hard.
We've been following you for a while. That's why.
We know this branding expert.
Thank you. I'm always thinking about things. It's hard though, because I was just gonna say it is probably this section is the hardest one I find on LinkedIn. Everyone has a hard time figuring out, because it all goes out the headline. The headline is kind of like your virtual business card, and you really want to nail that. Yes, yesterday's post of mine was all about your headline is your virtual business tool. That's your first impression. So anyways,
I think that people discount that, right? Because they're like, oh, well, like I could say there's a million copywriters out there, like there's a million of me. So why would I even say, why even bother? That sort of a thing. And I think people don't realize how much value they bring to the table and the difference, even if it's slight. It's like that person might not connect with me, but they'll connect with another copywriter or vice versa, or that sort of a thing. And so I think that that's great that you pull that out, of like, what is it about you and what differentiates you than the others in your space. So.
That is such a great point. And I'm so glad you said that for 2 reasons. One of the things I've said before is, what we do is not anything special or different, but you are. The way you do it, the way you say it, your point of view, your message, and that's what I help you craft. I mean, Erin, I know that you're the conversational copywriter. I love that. I mean, that stands out. That's a hook in my brain, and I'm not going to forget that. Okay. So we want to find that key element, that point of view, and it's okay to have a little bit of a point of view. I encourage it. And so everyone's a little bit different, unique with your personal and professional perspective. So that's where we work, but we all have a way to differentiate. I promise you. We all do.
Yeah.
So the next thing is,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, Jeff mentioned some, and for all of you joining us in the chat today, thank you so much. The chat is blowing up and this is amazing. And I'll definitely be sending out those notes. But Jeff said that part of being visible is making others visible.
Yes.
And I'm seeing that a lot on LinkedIn lately where, incredible, wonderful people like Jeff, like John Aspirian, like, a lot of folks online who have substantial followings are promoting other people to help lift them up and to help their reach go further. And I think that's becoming a really key element of their brand. They're becoming known as that community multiplier, right? I mean, Gabe Leal, thank you so much, Gabe, for shouting out our show this week, right? I mean, he's making it easier for other people to find content that's live on Thursdays. So I just really love that that is becoming a piece of branding that people can be known for as well.
Yeah, I love the word. You're almost coining something, community multiplier. Absolutely love that. Yeah, Greg, I was about to post this today in your comment, like that's gonna kind of be your thing, the LinkedIn Live TV guide, So love that. And John Aspirian is so great about the Friday shout outs and all that. And there's so many people doing that. So at the Law of Reciprocity, we'll help you expedite everything, give and give without return, and we'll always come back. So thank you for sharing that. Where are we? Packaging. Okay. So I have a beef with Sherry Sandberg. I'm just kidding. I love her. But this article, I was reading, I was like, it's so like not me and not true. And that's the part of, discussion and agree to disagree. And she had it all wrong in 2017. The lady's brilliant. And it's probably because she just was misinformed. I'm going to drop that thing. And I want you to know, when I package you, that is just a term for taking who you are and just presenting yourself in the world with your messaging, with your, we take your positioning and then we message you. Your messaging needs to be absolutely clear so people know who you are and what you stand for and how you help them. And that's another area where I see people, their messaging is just all over the place, or it's not very clear, it's confusing, it's cute and clever. So I really work with messaging. So we message you, we get like your website completely wireframed, and so you know exactly how your talking points and all that. So packaging is making sure your social, your own platform. I am 100% advocate of everyone having their own platform. Now, personal brand website is ideal in this day and age. You can get a domain for $12 a year, and anything from Square. It is very doable and affordable. You need to have your own thing. We know that LinkedIn shuts people out, Facebook and Instagram go down. You got to have your own platform. And so we work really hard with email and all that stuff. I get really in depth, which I'm not going to get in here, but you need to have your own platform. How we package you up. You want to put all your content on there so people will go on your platform, wherever that is, not just social. We go to social to fish, but we bring them home to your platform. You want people to kind of like Netflix binge on your stuff. Like you want to keep them there. Like all your stuff should be on your website. So you want to give them all the resources, all the good things, because that leads to number 4. Is that number 4 or 5? Is publish. Okay. And stop me if I'm going ahead if you ask questions, by the way, because I'm kind of just running through these super quick.
And I think you're really just you're really striking a chord with who's here listening, because Varsha was just talking about how she took a while to get her headline together, and now it's amazing. If you guys haven't connected with Varsha, she's in the chat right now, and hers is spinning magic with words is my superpower. I mean, things like that. So I feel like what you're sharing is really resonating with people. So
good. Yeah, don't feel bad if you can't nail that the first time. It's super hard. It's a process. You got to see what sticks and all that. So but anyway, so that's super important. The publishing, we know content is the currency. Trust, of course, is the ultimate goal of any, being online, but content gets us there. I actually did a post a month ago, and I said something like content is the currency, and someone came in and was like, no, it's not, it's trust. And I'm like, okay, well, I get that, but trust, how do people know you on the internet? Well, you got to have content, right? This is content. So as a podcast,
Yeah.
what I meant was, of course, I know trust is the ultimate goal. I mean, we don't want to do business with someone we don't trust. Well, how do they do that? You be visible with content that leads to credibility, relatability, and then the ultimate. So content is what I always ask my clients. Get on one social media platform to start with. Don't overdo it. Like for me, it's LinkedIn. I've tried to build my Instagram thing, and that's just not even, I don't think my people are there. And it's just too exhausting for me. I'd rather do guides and all these other things and be on all these social media platforms. So pick one where your audience is, you like, sustainable, and you can do it. So do that. And then, maybe have a second tier one when you're established on the first one. Do tons of content. If you don't want to post all the time, do what a little works for you. Find your cadence, do something consistent, but also have free guides, free checklists, just free stuff that your audience will come on your website and learn that you are this credible source. Show your expertise by giving away content. Okay. So that's going to really, and I work with my clients on finding, all the pillars, all the good stuff, the right schedule, all that. So we get into real deep on that, but that's what publishing is the fuel to your brand and ultimate trust. So stop me if I'm going too fast because I talk fast.
I just think you made a really good point in there, right? Like stick to one channel and get really good at it. Like I used to be a director of marketing at an agency, and I had a full team. We could be on every social channel. We could be on every platform. We could be everywhere doing everything. And when I quit to start my own business, I was just like, well, it's just me, and I have to do accounting, and I have to do client work, and I have to do this and that and this and that. So I really just went all in on LinkedIn. And I think like that was the one thing, like if I look in hindsight, that was the thing that I think I did best, right? Stick to one thing, get really good at it, then add the next channel, and don't do them in silo, right? Like don't then go start something over here and have it not be related. Have it built on like, how does, I started on LinkedIn. What was the next logical move for me? Starting up an email list and starting to create drip campaigns and starting to release a newsletter, right? Like add on to that, move people into that. So I think it's really important that you take it slow, go one channel at a time, get really good at it, and then think about, well, how can I make this even better by adding the next channel?
Absolutely. So I like, that's a great point, because I like to say, find one social channel and another medium. Like for me, it is the LinkedIn Live and then becoming a podcast. I'm on Dan's email list. I let whatever works for you. We're all going to be different. some like written, audio, video. You just it's all different for you, your audience, your industry. So, I give parameters, but it's not a hard, fast rule ever, because it's going to differ. So, but you need to be publishing. We can't find you. That's the way we find you on the internet. So, publishing is huge, or content. And the next one is promotion. By this point, you're getting in a rhythm, you're getting out there. Remember, building your brand is not a one and done, and it's not a get rich quick, and it's not I'll do it in a day or a week. Or it takes a good 6 months to a year to really get the traction. I know that might be depressing to people to get really momentum, but I'll tell you, by me getting out on LinkedIn every single day, I started seeing traction within just a few weeks. So LinkedIn is a great way to expedite that. So just because I say it could take 6 to 12, I mean, I'm talking about full on, but you will get traction sooner than that, promise. Because one other thing I want to mention today, the algorithms change and everything. Please don't stop posting. People are seeing you. There are so many people who don't post and are here. And all the time when I get DMs, they'll say, I like your stuff, I follow it. Well, I didn't know they did that. And so I have clients that come to me just because they follow me and they never posted. So people see you even if they don't engage. So don't give up. People need you. And
I had someone in a group that had said, she was like, you guys, I was like waiting for my next client to come in. My phone rings. And it's a producer from our local, news station, and they needed somebody to speak on my area of expertise. And they saw me on Instagram, they saw me like in my posts and everything, and that's how they discovered me. So to your point, Michelle, it's like, you got to put yourself out there and keep posting. And that's how people will discover you. And some people are lurkers, they're not going to comment and engage. And that's just the way it is, but you're still doing a service, and I don't want people to get overwhelmed either. So they're like, oh my gosh, I gotta come up with all this content and post all the time. And it's more of like, and if you agree with this, it's more of like starting out with what's realistic for you, right?
Yeah.
Like how you and Dan were saying, like start with one social media. Well, you don't have to post 5 times a day, or you don't have to come up with a new lead magnet every single week, so it's kind of like figuring out what's realistic for you, and then you can kind of like tweak it, like turn it up a little bit once you have as a more well-oiled machine as you go along.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, I'm posting every single day. I was telling Dan earlier, that's only because that's the only thing that got me out there and made myself consistent. I work for me. Now, come 2022, I'll probably go just to 5 days a week because I need my weekends back. But works for you. What works for you. It's an individual thing. But do get out there. People are seeing you no matter what, and we need you. So don't stop, because that person who needs everything, the momentum, they need you to keep doing it for them. So with that being said, the next one is promotion. And promotion is, some people think, an icky word, and I just have to have a P word, but basically it's the amplification stage. You're getting traction on the social platform. You're on your platform, you're doing your stuff, you're building like an email or podcast, whatever. We need to amplify that. This is where the partners really come into play. You should be doing this all along, but your partners are going to help you, you know, getting on LinkedIn Lives, getting on podcasts, finding ways, and just, you know, it basically, when you're working that partner thing, as much as you're helping your people, it's just growing like a big snowball. You're going to keep cross-pollinating, getting invited here, someone's going to see you here, but you want to continue to build that and amplify that in the promotion stage. And like I said, you start small and you grow out. So we can't expect to get on the Today Show coming out the first day, but by starting that pyramid effect, you're going to continuously build up and have the opportunity, the momentum, clarity, and confidence and credibility to do that. So I work with my clients to find what's another area we can start promoting you to a higher level. So that could be, you know, multiple ways, but I work with my clients on that. And you want to keep amplifying and growing that. And the last one is the payoff, because
before you get to that, Michelle, I think that's a really good point with promotion, right? Like, people who aren't confident promoting themselves, like they don't like to like self-promotion, they find icky or whatever. Don't think of it as like you're trying, right? Like I think you have to position it as create content and speak to the people who want to hear from you, right? Like, only concern yourself with those people, and you're doing them a disservice by hiding that stuff, by not showcasing it to them. The people who want, like, who enjoy your content, who enjoy hearing you speak, who show up to your stuff, right? Like, they want to see more of it. So don't hide it from them. Don't think that you're like trying to attract the people who don't normally come. That's not the goal. You're just trying to continue to build with your base and continue to support them and give them as much information and content as you have available.
And that's so true, Dan. And also too, when you're completely dialed in and clear, the right people should know, and it's just a build up of that. And when I say promotion, it's not promoting yourself. Again, I do want to make it clear. Personal branding is not about being narcissistic and vain. It's you, above you, for others. You know, it's of you, but not about you. So it's taking what you know to promote your answer, your big transformation that you bring people, and bringing it to those people. So we want it, like you said, we want to get it out there. We want the answer, the solution, so people who need us can find us. So don't stop, guys. So anyway, so loved all that. You guys are so intuitive and so awesome. I love everything you say. It's so right. It's like, I could have said that. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Michelle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I based on everything you said, so just to show people an example of this, because some people that are listening and watching this may think like, how do I promote myself without coming across with that vanity type effect? So I highly, highly recommend that people go look at what I posted this morning on LinkedIn, because I think it'll really spell out almost verbatim what you had talked about, Michelle. So just to give people an idea of it, like I had mentioned, I recently was speaking in a conference in Erie, and during one of the breaks, I said to the people in the audience, I said, what is your favorite restaurant in Erie? And this one lady shouted out, like my Thai. So not like Thai, but like my Thai. It's Thai food, like my Thai. So I was like, wow, that's a riveting recommendation. I'm going to go to this restaurant. So I went to this restaurant and I was blown away because the cook had the kitchen in the middle of the restaurant. And he was, as he was cooking, and he's the only cook. So as he's cooking multiple meals, He's engaging with the customers. He knows the customers by name. He knows their background. He knows things that they're going through. He asked about, how's your mother recovering from surgery? The one gentleman came in just to hang out with the cook.
Wow.
And he said, hey, I brought a beer in for you just to hang out with this guy. His name's Mike. Another person, he made something that was completely not even on the menu. It was off the menu, but he said, hey, I really was thinking about you. I made this dish. I think you'll love it. So the point of that post was multifaceted. One, I'm telling people, hey, I just spoke at this conference and someone said X, Y, and Z. So I'm indirectly telling people one of the things that I do as a service is I speak at conferences about strategic storytelling. Then I'm using Mike, the cook, as the hero of my story. This guy has close to 4,000 reviews on social media. He has 4.9 stars out of 5, right? He is blowing it away. The main point of that post is we need to care and we need to be creative in regards to our customers.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was talking in Erie, I spent about a half an hour talking about creativity. So now I'm reinforcing what I said through the post. So just to show people, like, what Michelle is talking about is not theory. Like, you can actually use these steps in reality, go through, okay, what's the perspective? Who are the people? Publishing, promoting, not necessarily yourself, but someone else, but you're indirectly sharing your service. So I highly recommend people go check out the post just so that they can see, as you're going through all your notes today regarding what Michelle said, how you can actually implement this into your life and business.
Love that. You just told us, you're a story strategist, so you just basically gave a story strategy. So,
There you go.
There you go. Mic drop. Yeah. So no, that's so good. So, just, help, like you said, a good concept, help people. When you're helping people, when you're giving them all the tips and advice and just showing up and just like the chef, that's exactly, you're self-promoting yourself as a knowledgeable, credible, visible authority. Okay. Relatable and likable. That's huge. So thank you for sharing that. I know we're getting close on time, so I just want to say my last one and then we'll talk about things. The last one is the payoff. The payoff is the ultimate trust. When you're there, you're paying off, because by the end of these 7 things, you're continuously building your brand, but you've earned that visibility, the credibility, the relatability, the likability, and most importantly, the trust. Okay. So everything you do, you continually want to show it, do it, and be it. You want to make sure you have testimonials like this guy, case studies, continually build that for yourself and for your customer. You want to continue to be the big payoff for everyone. And, also too, I have in there, make sure that what we're doing is, it's like you said, make sure we have reviews, make sure our analytics in and out work. So all those payoffs continue just being the big payoff for yourself. Well, for others, which will pay off for yourself. So it's a continuous thing, and it never stops. And you just keep refining it, enjoying it, and having the knowledge and the impact, knowing that you're doing what you love to do with the gifts you've been given to help people that need you the most. And so that's what the visible authority is all about. And, to be that impactful person for others. So
I love it. Hey, Michelle, before we wrap up, can you walk through just the P words of the 7 steps?
And it's on my,
I want to add that to the notes.
It's on my, if you go to my profile, it's on my featured section too, if someone wants to grab it.
Oh, perfect.
So the first one is perspective.
Okay.
Second one is people. Third is position. And that's, of course, the problem you solve in there too. Fourth is package, in the good way, not the Cheryl Sandberg.
Sorry, Cheryl.
You dropped her name so many times.
I'm so going to put that in. No, I'm sure she's brilliant, but it's probably someone wrote that for her and they didn't know what the heck's going on. Okay, so what did I say? Package, and then we have publishing, promotion, and then payoff.
Love it. Awesome. And so one thing we ask all of our guests, and this too, because this is round 2 for you, but what is something, if someone was like, okay, I need to just put one thing into place today to help move me forward in my personal branding, what's one piece of advice or one little exercise you would challenge everybody here, everybody watching, to do today to move them forward with their personal branding?
Oh my goodness, that's such a loaded question. Always some terrible being put on the spot. I would say maybe kind of run through this. I mean, this is a very, process, but just look through it to say, do I have a perspective on who I am and what I'm about? I know this is very over. And do I really know my people? Do I honestly know, can I tell you who I serve and, the problem I help people with? And then, am I positioned right? Do I publish enough? Do I promote enough? And, am I paying it forward type thing? So, honestly, when you can nail, I had a post last week on if you can nail the 5 journalists, the who, what, where, why, how, if you can just actually have an exercise in my positioning thing, we go through that before I do the messaging. But if you can nail that and talk to me like a 5-year-old can understand it, then you're in great shape. That foundation is there. And that's one thing I find a lot of people don't have taken the time to do foundational, just start doing the things without knowing these core elements. So that would be my very quick recommendation there.
Awesome. Well, you guys, you heard it here first. Go through those steps, kind of just gauge where you are, and maybe where you want to move forward and hone in a little bit on your business today. So really
I'd even
great.
say
really
rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10 on each of those, and wherever you score the lowest, go focus on that for
absolutely. I'm actually coming up. I'm partnering with Interact. Anyway, I'm doing a quiz, a visible authority quiz coming out. That's on my goal soon to do. So maybe by early 2022, I'll have that. So that way you can go and take it, and I'll give you some parameters to see where you stack up against those things. So that'd be very helpful for people to have a baseline. A baseline is so good, right? So
Linda would be proud.
Yeah, exactly. So go ahead.
So did you want to leave us with one final thought, and then we'll wrap up this edition?
Yeah, I was just going to say thank you. That's my final thought. I'm so honored to be here, and I just love chatting with you guys. We could talk forever, but got to get to work. But you need to be out there. Personal brands are not for CEOs, celebrities. Everyone has a brand, either by design or default, and it's not about you. It is about defining you. Okay, so you can be of service to others. At the end of the day, I'm all about being a people first marketer, brand, or whatever. You've got to be out there because the people you help need you. Don't hide. Don't stay hidden. We need your voice, your message, and your solution to help them. So get out there. And as I say back here, put yourself out there. So the opportunities are there.
That's awesome.
Love it. Thank you so much, Michelle. And thank you, Power Hour crew. This has been another, I feel like, rapid fire branding edition, which is exciting. So you guys know where to find Michelle over on LinkedIn. She is everywhere, and she's got an incredible website too. So be sure that you are tapping into her expertise today and following her if you're not already. And can we ask you guys a favor? If you're not yet following the Power Hour Club group on LinkedIn, give us a follow today, because we are hoping to in the future be able to broadcast straight from the group, and that would be a big help for us as well. So if you're not yet following, or you want to tag a friend who you feel like could benefit from this 30 to 60-minute mastermind every Thursday morning, please do so, because we would love to grow this group and continue to bring you awesome experts like Michelle this morning, and expertise from Dan, Erin, and Matt, and myself as well. So with that, thank you all for another Power Hour. You guys have a wonderful Thursday, and we appreciate everybody who joined us today, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.